Whereas the safety and well-being of the good people of Kryta have of late been threatened by the pernicious actions of an isolated band of brigands and rebels, we hereby decree new protections for the common good. First, no person shall be allowed out of his or her home after sunset and before sunrise without a wartime nocturnal activities permit. Said permit shall be sought through petition of loyal provincial governors. Second, travel across province boundaries shall be restricted to those with a wartime travel permit. Said permit shall be sought through petition of loyal provincial governors. Third, no gathering of individuals shall exceed 6 people. Insofar as these safety measures shall better permit the White Mantle to identify rebel activities and to protect the people of Kryta from malicious intent of said rebels, the cooperation of all citizens and residents is required. Any person witnessing another in violation of these laws must inform a White Mantle Justicia post haste so the appropriate action may be taken. The truth is our greatest weapon. Be it now known that any found to be spreading lies in support of treason or defending the actions of traitors shall be found guilty of high crime of sedition. Those so convicted shall be subject to internment in a re-education camp and confiscation of property. Seditious acts do include, but are not limited to, the following: spreading blasphemous rumours and lies about the unseen ones, giving aid and succour to traitors, withholding the truth from duly appointed agents of the White Mantle, failure to feed and properly house White Mantle agents, possession of contraband, idolatry, unauthorised travel, and general acts of heresy. If you know of anyone guilty of the aforementioned seditious acts, it is your solemn duty to report such acts to the White Mantle immediately for a generous reward and the lasting favour of the White Mantle. Be advised that failure to report sedition is a seditious act in and of itself. Fucking hell, so many words there I had to look up how to pronounce. I hope I was saying seditious right. Hello everybody and welcome to another video. We're back out here at the Hall of Monuments. A little bit more interaction between Gwen and Kieran Thackeray, as long as he actually comes through. Also, did you like that, how I pronounced Justicia, Justicar? Because like, when we were doing Prophecies, I changed it to Justicar halfway through. But then I realised I was playing Mass Effect like a couple of months ago now, actually. But they call them Justicias there. I guess both pronunciations are okay, but I was like, I'm going back to my original one. So, yeah, gone back to that. Anyway, here's Kieran and Gwen once again. He says, come on, what are you going to say? Come on. Hi, Gwen. Nice night, isn't it? Yes, he's saying the right thing. Thank God. I hadn't noticed, actually. Oh, Gwen, why you got to be such a cold bitch all the time? Look at that sunset. Amazing. Wait, what? How is he seeing a sunset? I haven't actually shown you this, but if you look in the skybox, it looks pretty amazing up there. Didn't see it, she says. You've been in here for hours, haven't you? Don't you ever feel the need to watch a sunset? Run barefoot in the woods? Swim in a river? No. Do you know why? I'm not a ranger. I like it in here, where it's quiet, where it's calm. Frigid. Joyless. Oh, brilliant. Kieran knows exactly what she's like already. You're starting to annoy me, sir. Why don't you go run barefoot through the woods and swim in a river, Lieutenant, and leave me in peace? Ah, she's so mean. I love how he's taunting her, though, and laughing. Fine. Why don't you continue standing there? Oh, brilliant. Well said, Thackeray. Oh, and he runs off. Brilliant. Okay, right. So yeah, I had to cut to Tom there because oh, Gwen says, Dwayne, spare me from handsome fools. Ah, so you think he's handsome, do you, Gwen? Do you? Yeah, I had to cut it there because oh my god, this overarching War in Kryta quest, it skips out so much crap. I just did the dialogue and it was the complete wrong thing. It skipped right to the end. So we're going to be seeing the rest of these dialogues on Tom. Tom's going to be the little peeping Tom that watches these two as they continue conversing over the next few episodes. I mean, my god, this is crazy. So yeah, basically what we're going to be doing for this video is we're going to be going to the Shining Blade camp. It's going to be a little bit of a weird video. We're going to be going back to the Shining Blade camp and not specifically doing any quests there, but talking about a lot of the stuff that's going on and a lot of my thoughts on sort of how War in Kryta content came out and some of the more awesome things that are going on around there, and then we'll cap the video off by coming back here later. So I'll cut it back to me filming the original episode and it will all make sense. So we'll be on Matt Greenspring in a minute, so see you guys in a bit. Here we go, just logging on to Matt here. Those little Gwen and Kieran things, now, because I did those stupid voices the first time, I could just tell every time I go up there now, I'm going to be tempted to do voices and sort of chicken out every time. So yeah, we're on Matt. We're going to be going basically straight back to the Shining Blade camp. I'm sure as much as you would all love to see the walk again, I'm not going to film the walking. This video, actually, I'm not 100% sure sort of how long the video will get. It'll probably be quite a weird one, I would say. Thing is, I don't want to do like MOX and then MOX and then MOX sort of in a row, so I do want to break it up and come back to Kryta before we do the last MOX thing. However, that is kind of a little bit functioning as a bit of a bottleneck for us at the moment. Is that the same? Oh yeah, this guy, by the way, I never mentioned. Oh, is that Shadow with us now? Hey, Shadow! And Carlotta. Oh man, did I speak to you before? I just met more people made refugees by white mantle thugs. Every day decent Krytans suffer at the hand of these cultists, but no more. Lead on so we might fight these injustices. I think I did speak to her, didn't I? Or did I speak to the other guy, Melathora, and he talked about the assault on Den Ravi? Anyway, yeah, this guy here, he actually runs off, and I believe... I don't know why, I haven't done it since the content came out. I think if you follow him, you can end up fighting him, maybe? Anyway, we're just going to leave and let the people at the Temple of the Aegis die. It's not like you get kicked out when it happens. That would be hilarious if ArenaNet did that. They basically force players to wait outside the entrance because if the guys died, it kicked you out of the Explorable. That would like be the ultimate troll. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not going to actually show you this whole walk. This video, though, it's basically going to be like a little bit of a tour of the Shining Blade camp. Oh, God, just hit my microphone. A little bit of a tour of the Shining Blade camp, and then we'll see like another dialogue between Gwen and Mr. Thackeray before the end. I know it's a little bit weird like that, but I do want to keep in Kryta. And there's so much to talk about in that camp. I'm still annoyed that it skipped past that dialogue. Also, yeah, we're swapping on to Matt here with his awesome Cass ears. As I completely forgot about these. We swapped onto the map so that we will see that first dialogue again. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. I'll see you guys in a second when we're at the camp. Oh my god. This is so ridiculous. Meow. Oh man, I miss Oak Hearts. I hope that the Oak Hearts in Guild Wars 2 have got the names like this, like the Tree of Autumn and like the Tree of Spring and the Tree of Summer. That's so cool. In fact, it'd be even cooler if in Guild Wars 2 there was an actual Oak Heart boss or like 4 bosses and they are all like supposedly the same Oak Hearts. I know that the design for the characters or like the enemies is completely changed now, but that would actually be really cool. I'd really enjoy that. I think we're going the right way. Thing is, Matt's not been around here before, so I'm kind of just getting a little bit lost out here in the wilderness. I think it's over here. See, it's so cool. I love the location of the Shining Blade camp. I haven't really mentioned this before, but I think it's so cool the way that like, I've mentioned a lot of times how bare the Prophecies landscape was in terms of content. Like, you had all these huge explorable areas that they obviously wanted to do, and then there was very little content that was added to them towards the end, anyway. But then, like, this is why Guild Wars Beyond's so good, because it gives people a chance to come back and see these areas. Why would a normal player ever come here? Particularly considering they'll just do the Divinity Coast mission up here and skip past all this crap. Why would they ever have come here? I mean, this is really, really cool. So, I mean, this is one reason why I like Guild Wars Beyond so much, because it actually gives players a reason to come to these outback areas of the game, which, for all intents and purposes, they're well populated. They're pretty areas, particularly, I mean, you've got to remember, you've got to judge the way Prophecies areas look by the way all of Prophecies looked. And, you know, these areas are just as nice looking as anywhere else. It's just that there were never any quests made for them. And now there's a reason to come out into them. You know, like, you've got the Majesty's Rest up here as well. All these areas. In fact, Tears of the Fallen, Stingray Strand, like, particularly, Strand essentially is like where the first quest happens. And you've got Tears of the Fallen in this place as well. They don't really have that much to do for Guild Wars Beyond, which I think is a bit of a shame. But pretty much everywhere else, you name it, in the War in Kryta, there's new content, there's things happening there. And obviously particularly here. The only thing I think that's missing from this camp is like quests that you can actually take from here. We'll find later there's an actual different hub area that you go to for the War in Kryta, which is just as amazing as this. Like, this is really just the starting section, but I would have liked to have had like daily quests and stuff, which I'll be showing you later on, maybe being accessible from here. In fact, there might have been. I don't think there were though. I certainly never came from them here because it's not convenient to come out here. You know, there's nothing unique. Anyway, right, so yeah. Also, I've got the cat ears on. I don't know whether I'll edit in when I put them on, but yeah, this is what this video is going to be. So we're going to be talking to basically the people around here. We're going to be seeing what's going on. So we've got loads of Shining Blade training here, and they've got all their weapon racks. Do you remember back in Prophecies how often I used to look at these weapon racks and stuff? These are all real skins that you can get and stuff. There's actually a Shining Blade emblem on the back of that, which is really cool. So, you know, they put a lot of thought into it. These kind of practice dummy things that you also get. Wait, is that another Shining Blade emblem there, or is that like corn or something? I don't know. We got people here. Can we speak to many of them? If we don't succeed, we run the risk of failure. Okay, so here's Melithoran, at least. He says, I'm grateful to have made it out of the Maguma jungle alive. So many of our friends died. Oh, this is the exact same dialogue as we read the other day. We got another scout here. Stop and close your eyes. Listen to the wind. Feel the majesty of this forest. The power of nature cannot be overcome by the White Mantle. This is why we'll defeat them. They do not respect the powers that they do not understand. And oh my god, I completely forgot about this. Right, so this is the first dialogue. This is what I was supposed to be showing you yesterday, but it's skipped. Right, so it starts off with Master Scout Braden saying, Your Highness, I've just received reports of additional bandit attacks. Where have they struck? Is there anything we can do to assist the settlements that were attacked? Beetleton was hit last night, he says. Wait, where is this going on? Where is she? Beetleton was hit last night. Where are they? And the Usklen settlement in the early morning. Wait, have we already... We must send soldiers to protect these villages. We cannot sit idly by while the White Mantle's peacekeepers run rampant through Kryta. Where the hell is Salma and so forth? They're certainly not here at the moment, are they? Ivinia says, marching Shining Blade troops into these villages would be a grave mistake. The Mantle would simply point to our presence as proof of the villagers' treasons and burn their homes to the ground once we left. This sounds very, very familiar to me. Have we already... Is this the second thing again? Ivinia speaks the truth. As much as it pains me to avoid battle, we're not ready for a direct confrontation. Yeah, we definitely heard this. Is this skip to the next dialogue again? Has it really gone and done this? It can't have, because they're not in the right position anymore. They are! Look, it's skipped again. I think it must have skipped. Hold on. If it has skipped, we'll just ignore it and do a tour of the camp anyway. Yes, this is definitely the second dialogue. Oh, that's pissing me off so much. Why has it skipped it again? I don't know. Look, guys, there's another dialogue. Look in the description. That's the other dialogue. That's the first one I wanted to show you. Oh, that's annoying. Why would ArenaNet do that? They make it so easy to skip content they've put in the game. That's such a shame. Yeah, so they're going to talk about the stuff we already saw, ending with the leaving of Ivinia and Livia. I may as well speak to them now, actually, because I wanted to take advantage of them while they're still here. They're supposed to be... When content was first coming out, we were having to wait days for these other dialogues to happen. Like, that's quite important. So when we were first coming here, we were exploring it constantly, and these guys were actually here for a few weeks, like, in real time. That's how it kind of felt. It was pretty cool, but you miss out on that now. So Livia says, we meet again under dire circumstances and against impossible odds, just as I like it. Good to see you again, Livia. Always in the thick of things, aren't you? You could say that, but in this case, it's my love of Kryta that brings me here, and not my need to be in the thick of things. Princess Salma has my undying devotion. Okay, so that's what Livia has to say. Ivinia says, these are perilous times. The fate of Kryta hangs upon the decisions we make here in these woods. Before long, the princess will be moving to Lion's Arch to reclaim the throne, and then the endgame will begin. This is quite the gathering you have here. Indeed it is. We meet here to plan the future of Kryta. It truly is a historical occasion. An historical occasion? That's not right, is it? Surely? With so many important figures in one place, we are very lucky that the White Mantle seem to have no idea that this camp has been established. I'd be careful with any. Remember what happened with Marcus? How he betrayed you all, and then everybody was hiding at the Henge of Demravi, and because of his betrayal they all got fucked up and died by the White Mantle. Yeah, sound familiar? I would watch out for that. So yeah, they're going to keep talking about that. Let's go back to the camp. Ah, so messy. Why do you do this, War in Kryta? I think we actually already spoke to everyone over here anyway. I don't know, you got this guy Sorim. So one thing to note, actually, about this camp, pretty much everyone I'm going to be speaking to are NPCs, whether they were collectors or anything that were typically found around Kryta and the Maguma jungle during prophecies. And they've basically all been relocated to here. And some very cool characters as well. So here's Sorim. He says, are you eyeballing me, maggot? Oh, sorry, I thought you were one of the new recruits. These young Krytans are brave, but valor isn't enough. They need discipline and they need skill. That's where I come in. Brilliant. Okay, so a recruit says, we may have lost some battles against the White Mantle, but the war is far from over. It should have been over years ago. Why don't you guys step up? In the wake of the White Mantle, my home Kryta is racked by civil war. I recognise that quote.
How can I help?
And she's, for some reason, got an even Vanguard intro dialogue, but whatever. Okay, so these are these little guys here. You've got Carlotta and Shadow here, of course. They'll have the same dialogue we just read. There you go. Oh wait, really? The key to a successful insurgency is to weaken your enemy and reduce their ability to resist before you deliver the killing blow. Just like a spider and her prey. Isn't that right, Carlotta? That's what we'll be teaching these new recruits. Oh, so she does have some unique dialogue. Okay, cool. So those guys are buggering off. We'll be seeing them again soon enough. But yeah, like I said, this is something that there's no way I can convey it to you guys. But they really were here for a long time. We were waiting days between updates to come out, and you know, constantly coming back here. Oh, has there been an update? Has something changed? And they really were waiting around. And you'll see in the dialogue, like for instance, these guys leave, and then basically it was like 2 weeks real time or a week real time, and then later we logged back in, and oh, Livia's back, and it kind of matched up with the story because it was a couple of weeks real time or just a single week real time. And when Livia comes back, she's like, oh, you've been away for a week, and that was kind of, and it felt so good. It was like the world really was changing and the plot was adapting with how long we really were waiting. It was very, very cool. It kind of timed in with the travel of those guys and sort of the movement of characters very, 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 very awesomely. You don't really see that in the Winds of Change, where they're doing it just sort of in 3 massive updates, while the War in Kryta was done in sort of lots of incremental updates. I guess that means Winds of Change and Hearts of the North as well will be a lot. That means they'll be a lot easier for me to do coverage of, really, because there won't be any of these weird intricacies I can't really explain to you. So here's Snakebite here. He says all this talk about plans and manoeuvres. I just want to get out in the field already. Let's speak to the top dog, shall we? I know I'm not really doing this with any kind of order. Let's speak to Saphir here.
May the
Any
gods
word from
protect you.
Loamhurst? My mother and father live up there, and I haven't heard from them in weeks. I'm worried sick. They say the mantle has been burning farms near Loamhurst. Remember Loamhurst? That was a village we went to in one of the missions. If I remember correctly, it was the Divinity Coast mission. That was when we had the Eye of Janthera and we were finding the Chosen, and we went to Loamhurst. Lots of these little villages and stuff around in Kryta. It's so weird, like, these little villages. I like that they're there because they're not outposts. Like, every time you see an outpost, I always think, oh, right, that's a town, that's a village, that's a town, just because there's an outpost. But in Kryta and a lot of places in Prophecies, it's really different to that, because you get actual places in lore that are real villages, but often they're not actual outposts. They're just places you pass through. That's particularly true, I tend to find in Kryta. Like, in the Delesio Seaboard mission here, there's like 3 different villages you go to and defend. Like, you defend the huge garrison with Hablion, who you end up killing later on, but never mind that. Or no, that's Dorian you're with there, isn't it, actually? Who we also end up killing later on. So, yeah, I should probably mention this, actually, right now. I'm trying to hit the M key. There we go. Another thing to mention is, obviously, Confessor Dorian, he was the leader. He was the bad guy. He was the really terrible guy from the White Mantle during the events of Prophecies. We killed him. Remember, the Shiver Peaks will be painted with blood. Brilliant quote. Absolutely love it. From right at the end of that was actually a line out of the Flameseeker Prophecies. Right at the end of the Southern Shiver Peaks, we killed him, and that was like the hardest thing about Thunderhead Keep for me to do. And then obviously we went off to the Fire Island Chain to release the Titans. Well, basically the White Mantle had him, the definitive leader, killed, and then we killed their 3 High Council people, and they had no head, but there's a new head. There's a new Confessor now. He's Confessor Isaiah, and we'll be seeing more about him soon enough as the storyline goes along. But yeah, very important to note that you had Confessor Dorian and Confessor Isaiah, and I'll probably compare the way the 2 of them were leaders in lots of different ways. Anyway, sorry, I keep running around. Let's get some more quotes here. My duty is to guard this gate. That's what I intend to do. Wow, fascinating. And you say the same thing. What a surprise. Master Scout Braden, greetings. So you've come to join us in a final campaign against the White Mantle, eh? Actually, this actually reminds me of another quite big thing about the War in Kryta. My scouts say that you are on your way. Once again, you come to us in our time of need. We're honoured to have allies such as you. What this dialogue here reminds me of is the viral marketing campaign they released of the War in Kryta before all this content came out. That actually made it seem like players could make a choice. But it made it seem like for a while we could choose, hey, do we want to be Shining Blade or do we want to be White Mantle? And for the first time it seemed like we could be the antagonist, or at least it seemed like maybe there were going to be more shades of grey and that the White Mantle weren't all that bad. It was going to be like revealed to be like that during the Guild Wars Beyond. Turns out that didn't happen in the end. We could only play the good guys. It's an interesting thought. ArenaNet have talked about it a lot, the idea of letting players the antagonists as the bad guys, because there's a lot of people ask for, right, in MMOs and stuff. It's hard to pull off, and ArenaNet's stance generally with it has been, it's a cool concept, but you have to build your game around it if you want to do it, and we're not prepared to do that. Our game is about being cooperative. So that's like their Guild Wars 2 philosophy. However, when John Stummy came to the forefront and started doing stuff with the Winds of Change, you'll find that they do some really cool stuff. Like, one of the things I really like about Winds of Change is it explores this idea of your characters becoming the bad guys. Like, we're goody two-shoes, we always have been. When we get to Winds of Change, I'm not saying we become bad guys necessarily, but they really do sort of explore into that quite well, and it's really cool. It's a very weird feeling you get playing through the Winds of Change. Anyway, I'm way ahead of myself. Let's continue on. I should have been looking at those pigs so that you guys would have something interesting to look at. You've got this house here. This is Takatu Village. This is traditional, absolute, normal Prophecies dialogue that hadn't been updated at all for the War in Kryta. This is just the village that the Shining Blade comes to inhabit later on. That guy around the back hasn't really got anything else to say. Actually, does he? He looked like a Shining Blade. He seemed to be wearing like Shining Blade outfit. So no harm in actually coming around and looking. Like I said, I'm not really in a rush for this video. Whoa, we've been filming for 20 minutes. Oh shit me. Okay, hold on. Well, mind you, that was the whole walk there, and I'll be cutting some of that out. Yeah, so he's just a material trader. Kind of wish I'd brought some kind of speed boost. or brought my heroes with me so that they could give me full back. We've got Elder Rabney, who says, long have the people of Dakatu village been loyal to the Krytan royal family. Gladly do we give shelter to the Shining Blade during this difficult time. For the good of Kryta! I don't think he's actually there before War in Kryta starts, so you can't like listen to him talk about the royal family before the events actually happen or anything like that. Here's Alari Doubleblade. She's awesome. This is the woman that was getting in the way of my final shot in at the end of Eye of the North so much. But yeah, she's awesome. You remember her from being in the jungle. It's not smart. See, you can tell the more important characters will get like this extra bit of sort of dialogue that you can talk to. It's not smart gathering like this. We're a flock of moa hens sitting on our eggs. This is brilliant. I love it when people make sort of metaphors within the universe, making so much noise we can't hear the wolf approaching. Obviously, Bartholos and Avinia aren't concerned. Why are you? It's my job to be concerned. I may trust Bartholos and Avinia, but that won't stop me from being concerned. Yeah, fair enough. All right. So we've got Watchman Arid here as well, member of the Lion Guard. They're sort of the middle faction at the moment. They turn out to be on the Shining Blade side in the end as well, which is very cool. I like that. The Lion Guard have got very interesting history as Guild Wars 2 goes along. We'll go into that more as the stories go along. The Lion Guard will prove themselves true Krytans and support Princess Salma. You'll see, there are many in Lion's Arch who will side with us when the time comes. Okay, cool. And Salma herself, did I already speak to her last time? All Krytans long for peace, but we suffer too greatly at the hands of the Unseen Ones, fanatical devotees. What brings you to the camp? I only wish to protect my people from their oppressors and let them worship their gods in peace. I may be the royal heir, but I am still only one woman. I cannot defeat the Unseen Ones and the Mantle Puppets without help from the citizens of Kryta and from brave people like you. I like this story as well because it's like a civil war where the sort of the royalties coming back. So many stories are about how, oh, they're the lonely prince or princess that doesn't really know how to be a prince or princess, and it's all about them learning. No. Guild Wars doesn't do that. They throw that away, and that's really cool. It actually focuses a lot more on the other stuff that's going on. So here's Bartholos as well. The real leader of the Shining Blade right now, obviously because Avinia stepped down. Well met, friends. Here you see what is left of the Shining Blade, but new recruits are coming in all the time to bolster our numbers. We expect the Lion Guard to join the fight as well when the princess travels to Lion's Arch. Aren't you concerned about having so many important people in one place? We have spies embedded deep within the White Mantle, so we know what they know, and they do not know about this camp. I aim to keep it that way. Well, if you're sure. We got William Stafford here. I don't think he's got unique dialogue. No, not at all. There's a collector here somewhere that I want to speak to. We got Deeproot. If you remember this guy, he was the guy that led us into the Maguma jungle, and we did like all those really weird kind of prophecy things to do with the druids or maybe the Sylvari and all those kind of weird things that talked about this idea of the lion versus the bird, the lion being representing the Krytans, essentially the Lion Guard, and the bird representing the Mersat because of their wings and stuff. I mean, we got into that right at the end of Prophecies. Really cool. I loved doing those quests. Very cool. But he's here. He says it's good to see all our brethren in one place again, though it saddens me greatly to see how many have been lost. I fear a repeat of what happened in the Henge of Den Ravi, regardless of the quality of the intelligence Bartholos has been receiving from our spies. Don't worry, man. We should be okay. Fingers crossed. Councillor Vela, of course, as well. The White Mantle underestimates the power of a well-organised, highly motivated opposition. They put all their faith in false gods, whereas we make our own destiny. See, I love that idea. You make your own destiny, guys. You really do. No such thing as fate. Soon, Princess Salma will travel to Lion's Arch and take the throne, and all of Kryta will rally around her. Right, where the hell is this guy? I suppose I can show you one of the other traders later on. It's not a massive deal. The camp also extends over here, just so that you know. You can walk. There are 2 bridges. We're basically surrounded by this little river here, which is quite interesting. I've got a bit of a story about that river, actually, about with the Kodan and how, come Guild Wars 2, this river kind of basically expands and it goes all the way up to the Giant's Basin here, and it seemed like the only way that the Kodan could get through into the Southern Ocean, and people were sort of hypothesizing that the Kodan had sailed their icebergs down this river or something, which, if you look at Guild Wars 1 terms, is ridiculous, but the world does change a lot. But yeah, so you actually get 2 entrances here. It's pretty cool. Is there anyone over here? I mean, I'll be honest, I don't often come to this part of the camp because I usually walk going through the other way. We've got Councillor Vela over there. Oh, I've just been turned around, haven't I? Yeah, there's no one else over there. It's just the bridge, literally, and then that's it. So yeah, that's a look at the camp, guys. I know this video has not been amazing. We'll go back onto Peter Redhill and progress the story a little bit further with Gwen and Kieran. This is the camp. There's a lot of stuff that will be going on here. We'll be coming back here a few more times as well, mark my words. So yeah, I hope you had a little bit of, I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a look at what's going on specifically here. I'll see you in a second when I've re-logged. Hello everybody, we're back on Tom Blue. This will be really weird for me to edit back because literally I'm just filming right off of the end of what you guys saw at the start of the video because everything bugged up. Yeah, I realised it had skipped so much stuff that I've just kind of come back here now and I had to do all the quests on Tom to start getting these things, but not get the overarching War in Kryta quest. You see, we've got no quests. This way we can see all of the dialogue between Gwen and Kieran rather than it just skipping everything instantly. So here's dialogue, what, number 3 or something? This is what we're in the video on. This has literally taken me like an hour and a half to be able to get this coming through here, but right, okay, so here is Thackeray. He says, "Evening, Gwen." Having another nice little chat. "Good evening," she says. "Good evening, Bitterman. My squad bartered with the Norn and procured a keg of Dwarven Ale. We're going to have a drink and listen to Casey's terrible singing. Maybe you'd like to join us." Hey, you best not be talking about my Casey. The character that never was. "I'd prefer to be alone, thank you." "Oh, Gwen, you're such a loner. I knew you'd say something like that, but I thought I'd try anyway." You know, I know why Kieran likes her, though. He likes a challenge. He likes a challenge of a woman. Thank you, Kieran, honestly. Okay, for what? Oh, she's quite sincere. "For talking to me. For being nice. I know that I'm not always pleasant. Sometimes I wonder why you even bother." "I don't. It's not a bother at all." Fair enough. Good night, Gwen. This conversation here feels really forced, I must say. That's probably one of the worst ones, actually. Wow. Does she have another little comment once his back's turned again? Something about how she pines for him? Maybe. I know she usually does. She might not this time. Are we going to wait for him to leave completely, Gwen, or are you just not going to have anything to say? I don't think he's got anything to say. Alright, okay, so there you go, guys. That was this video. Next time, we'll probably open up with this again. We're going to see the end of the MOX quest and get into some more exciting stuff with Zin. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will see you next time. I did not think I'd be ending this video on... We've seen all 3 characters in this video. How awesome is that? Oh, wait, did we see Peter? I don't think we did, actually, no. But yeah, we would have originally, but then obviously that all had to get cut out, so never mind. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Suru, you're not as bad as Corey, I suppose, but you are in the way of the camera.